Alright guys, my name is Eric Molinax, and today we're going to be doing a process speech of how to oil, form, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to maintain a glove for the longevity of the use. So today I have an Adidas EQT basic model here at Limestone Baseball. Certain people get those, or just if you ask, they have some extras laying around. So I got this one from my roommate. He's going to let me use it. It's never been oiled or formed before. It's pretty new. So what I have today, or what I always use, is Mizuno Strong Oil. I think I've had this can for around 10 years now. I haven't used all of it, so it's pretty good stuff. But before we get into it, I'm going to talk about some of the basic reasons you want to do this. First off, you want to oil. First of all, you want to oil your glove for the leather. All baseball gloves are made out of leather. Normally, the big brands are made out of really nice leather that you have to keep maintained to keep them oiled, depending on how long you want to actually use the glove. Like for me, I had about 2 different gloves in high school, which was a 4-year period. And I think the 2 years use out of a glove, especially when you're playing a high-level position like shortstop or third base, second base, so on and so forth. You got dirt to worry about, sweat. You got constant action with the catching of balls, getting the ball out, and stuff like that. So you have a lot of stuff to worry about. It also helps from the leather. Leather cracks, leather withers away, and this just kind of helps that. When you do this, as I'm going to show you, you really want to make sure that you get every single bit of the glove. When you do this, you don't want to leave any out because of color. The color will be disorientated on the glove. If you have a lighter glove, you'll see different spots on it. Luckily, we have a black and gray glove, so you really can't mess this up too bad. Black normally never changes color besides fading from the sun. So we're going to get started. When you do this, you don't want to start off with using too much, but you really can't hurt anything with using not enough. So you just kind of get a good bit on there, especially for the start, because you're going to do the outside of the glove, which kind of requires a little bit more. So when you do this, you really don't have to be too gentle with it. You don't have to put your hand in it or anything. It doesn't matter when you're doing this kind of thing. But you just kind of want to smear it on there and get it nice and good in all the crevices of the leather. Make sure you don't leave anything out, especially on the inside of the fingers. Gloves have 4 fingers, and if you count the thumb, which is on the other side of the glove on the front face. So you want to make sure that you get in between all of those fingers and just kind of rub it on there nice and good. You don't have to use your fingers, you just use your palm, rub it all over. Oil's going all over the place. So, like I said, you really can't mess this part up, especially on the outside of the glove. Don't be afraid to get more. You can get more if you need. It's not going to matter too much. But you want to make sure, as you're doing this, as you can see, baseball gloves have laces. Laces on the outside and along the webbing of the glove. So you want to, you can get all of it, get inside the knots if you want to. Sometimes I've untied the knots just to make sure you get every single bit. If you're kind of OCD about it, but I'm an infielder turned pitcher, so as of 3 years now, it's just about making your glove look good. So now that we got some of the outside done, I'm going to move into the inside of the glove. Here, you have a lot. This is where you're going to get all of the trafficking of the glove from the baseball palm when you're getting the ball out for transfers and everything like that. So you really want to get the palm nice and lubricated with the oil. And you can do a couple of rounds on this. The more probably the better. But the more you do, you want to make sure that you leave it out longer so you can let it dry, especially before you go to use with the glove. If you go to use with the glove with oil on it, from past experience, I've had a lot of trouble with the actual baseball that you're using, playing with, or just playing catch with. It gets really, really wet and oily, and it's hard to grip and throw, as you can probably imagine. But when you're doing this, you want to get all of the inside of the glove, in between the fingers and everything, and just kind of get it all going. Now, normally what I do when I go through this kind of thing, I'll go maybe about normally 1 to 2 coats. I never really do a third. I don't like leaving my glove alone for too long. I don't normally go without throwing for too long unless I'm out of season, or like now I'm coming off of an injury, so I'm not going to be throwing till August, which it's about to be May now. So I'm going to have a while So if you're going through that kind of thing, obviously you can put a lot on it, keep it conditioned more often. It's really not going to hurt you. Now to go into the formation of the glove, I used to be an infielder, so I still do it the infield way. What I would normally do is I'll start with the thumb and I'll just kind of work the thumb out. Not too much, you don't want to be over aggressive with it. The more you do it with a new glove, it's not going to hurt it because you got to keep on going with it. You got to keep up with it because it's just going to start to form back to its basic shape. So I normally start with the thumb, and with the thumb I kind of go as far out. I know a lot of infielders. I was a third baseman. I know a lot of infielders. The thumb really isn't going to matter. Where you're going to run into trouble with is the pinky. And what I go with the pinky finger is I'll go in on the bottom side, and I'll work that and I'll concentrate mostly on that, and then I'll go out with the top side. And when you go out, what I like to do, and what I've seen a lot of people do off of videos and stuff, is you take your pinky in and then you move the outside of it out with your other hand. So the way you do that is because if you just pull that outside, it's going to take the whole thing out. Some people like a very open, very flappy glove. I know Troy Swetzel on our team, second baseman, he kind of has a very wide glove. But for me, personally, I like having kind of a thin glove on the inside and having it wide out to the pocket. If you're a pitcher that really doesn't matter as much, you can just pick up a glove and start playing with it the next day. Other than that, I just kind of like it for the looks. Personally, I've been an infielder, baseball player for a long time, infielder for a long time. So once you get into that groove, you kind of don't get away from anything. After you go to the fingers, if you want to, you can do a little bit with the web. Some people like I said, a flat glove. Kind of if you do that motion, you'll get a wide open palm and a wide open front face. And with my glove personally, I know now I'd like to show you guys, but I like to keep a very kind of a thin glove, and you have more room for error, but I don't know if it's kind of a personal preference thing or just an opinion, but I feel like, the more you have it closed, the less chances you have of a ball coming out if you have it normally where it's closed. But like I said, just the basic thing you want to keep up with here is just the longevity. Like this is really going to help your glove. It really can help. Just like my glove now, I do this regularly, very often. I'm actually about to finally run out of this Mizuno oil, and I've had this glove since before my freshman year. So I've been using the same glove for exactly 3 years now. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you want to get the best performance and longevity out of your glove, then those are very necessary steps to take.